Hey guys, it's me again. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to show y'all how to make correct a physics asset. So we're going to start off by, I'm using the third person character blueprint. So I'm assuming you already know how to do that, how to open up that. So once you open it up, just select your mesh right here and double click on the skeletal mesh and come over here to the physics asset. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to make correct physics on these so that they fall like that. Now this one should already be set up properly, I'm assuming. Let's see. So we'll I'm selecting this drop down arrow, options for simulation, no gravity simulation, and simulate selected. And let me turn this camera speed down to 1 and use my scroll wheel to speed it up, and then hold down control, and with the right mouse button it looks like it's got some limits. Let's see. Yeah, seems about right. So we'll test this one out, and then I'll delete all this and I'll explain it to you one by one. See, so that's correct. That's how you want it to. But when you import a character, it doesn't do it like that. So if you're having issues, you can either use this as a reference. If you click on this asset right here and you come down here, you'll see he's using 90, 35, 25. He's using 45 on the swing for this one. He's using 35 and 25 on the hand. So he's not given anything but this twist. Now if you come down here, you'll see on this he does, but he gives it a limited amount of twist and spin. So if you want to know what those are, that's your twist from side to side. That's your movement forward and back. And this is your side to side motion. So we'll see down here on the knees, he only has it spinning this way. Now to fully understand all of this, we're going to redo it so that you can see exactly how it all works. So just select something over here on in your skeleton tree and hold down control and press A, and then just press delete. Looks like it left some, so we're going to delete those. Now under options, we're going to go to show all bones. We're going to start off with the pelvis. We're going to right click, add capsule. We're just going to move that in. Now we're going to move these down and look at thigh. We're going to make a capsule for the thigh. And we're going to press E to rotate. R is scale, E is rotate, and W is move. Give me a second, let me turn off the AC. Sorry about that. I didn't want it to drown out my voice. Okay, so you're just going to rotate this 90 degrees. Move this down. Scale it in a little. Might need to move it up some. That's probably fine. We're going to scale it in this way a little. Move it over, make sure that it's probably okay. Now if you need to, you can make it longer and move it down. If you have cloth physics around this area, you might want to make it a little longer and then move it up like that. That should be okay. You can move it in a little bit if you needed to, or out. Maybe you'll just have to play with that and adjust it to get it to work with your physics, your cloth physics. So we're going to move that arrow down. We're going to select the calf left, do another capsule, press E to rotate. Rotate it 90 degrees. Same thing. Moving it down. On some meshes, their shins might be a little bit more straight. If you needed to, you could rotate it to make it straight. 10 degrees is normally fine. Over here though, I'm going to set my rotation snapping to 5, because I might want it at 5 for the feet and the hands. Now I'm going to scale this down, and I'm going to kind of move it there. Try to make sure it's somewhat even with that joint there. You don't want it too far back unless you need to. It looks like that's a little bit too wide right there. So that should work okay. Unless you have cloth physics there, then this probably won't be an issue. If you do, you can make a second capsule on the same area by just going to calf again and adding another capsule. And then we're going to do the feet now. So I'm going to use a box capsule or a box component for this. Scale it up, move it down, scale it up a little bit more. That should be fine. We're going to move it out, move it forward a bit, scale it a little bit more. Should be okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. And now what we can do is we can right click these and mirror them. And then you could right click this one and mirror, and it'll do these. Now basically, let me go ahead and delete this one so I'll show you what I'm doing. If you need to do it manually, what you would want to do is you would want to right click, you would want to select this right here, it'll highlight it here. You'll right click on it, go to Constraint, and you'll say thigh left, and it'll do that. And then you'll select this one, your thigh left, and Constraint, and calf left. And then select your calf left, Constraint, foot left. And for the spines, you would do pelvis. After you placed the spines, I'll go ahead and do those. We'll go ahead and size these down. Make it a little smaller. That's probably good enough. That should be fine. So that's for the spine 1, spine 2. Move it down a little, move it in. We'll do spine 3. We'll just move this one in a little. Now we'll do neck. Rotate it 90 degrees. Move it in, make it shorter. Try to make it about the size of his neck. That should be fine. Collapse the clavicles. Right click on the head. Go to capsule. We're going to rotate this one 90 degrees as well. We're going to make it shorter and more narrow. And press W to move it. and something like that. If you need it to be further back, that's fine. You could make one further back, and you could make another capsule that covers the front if you need to. But normally I don't need but one of them, and I try to keep the capsules to a minimum. So for the spines, you would go Pelvis, Constraint, Spine 1, select Spine 1, Constraint, Spine 2, select Spine 2, Constraint, Spine 3, and Spine 3, Constraint, Neck 1, collapse the clavicles, select your neck 1 here, or select it here, Constraint, Head. Now you have all those in place. So we'll go ahead and do the arms here, and then we'll start doing these. So we'll skip the clavicles, and we'll go straight to the upper arm. You can do the clavicles if you want, but I don't think they're really too necessary. So we'll do that and make it smaller. Should be good. So now you're going to do your lower arm. So we'll rotate that 90 degrees this way, and then 90 degrees this way. We'll move it down and make it smaller. Let's see, move it up a little bit. That should be fine right there. Now we'll do our wrists. Do hand left. We're going to do a box for this one. You don't need a real complex shape for the hands. The box seems to work just well. And it's probably more preferable because you can make it thinner at one side than the other. Now we'll rotate it 10 degrees and we'll move it down. And we'll expand it a little bit, and maybe a little bit further this way. You don't have to make it that big. You can make it more narrow if you want. Personally, I don't think it needs to be perfect, so I'm going to just do that. And I'm just going to mirror those. And mirror it back over there. And again, what you're doing is you're going to select this. Let me go ahead and delete that and show you. You're going to select this, Spine 3. You're going to right click, Constraint, Upper Arm Left. Make sure it's the upper arm, not the lower. And it'll do that. And then you'll connect the upper arm left to the lower arm left, and the lower arm left to the hand left. You know, you do the same thing. So, let's get started. So we're going to start off by locking everything. And you may as well do this for everything. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through one by one. And we're just going to set these up. So you'll get an idea as to how it's done and the proper way to do it. I've noticed that nobody has done a video like this, so I thought, why not? Why shouldn't I? Well, I lied. Unreal did a video like this 7 years ago. That was the latest video I could find on this, other than one other. There was one other guy that did a video on this, but he left some of the details out, which I'm going to explain here. So, as the guy in the original Unreal video had stated, it's best to do these one by one, lock all of them, and then move and do one of them at a time. So, let's see. Oh, I had the wrist selected. Let me select this one. We're going to start off at the ankle. We're going to limit it. This is how much it'll swing from left to right. Obviously, that's not going to be much. You could even leave that locked if you wanted. You could leave that locked too if you want. This, however, though, is going to control how much it bends back and forth on this joint. So we're going to test this out, and with no gravity simulated and simulate selected, we're going to simulate this and hold down Control and right click and drag. So obviously they have this floor in the way, which makes it kind of hard, but there you have it. That's basically what's going on there. That should probably be okay, I would say. So I would probably leave both of these with a 45-degree angle right there. Now we're going to do these. Limited. Obviously the knee isn't going to turn this way. That's twisting from left to right. This is turning from left to right. We don't want that either. We only want this. So this is going to be kind of broken by default. So I'll show you how to fix it, and I'll explain how this works, and it'll help you a lot in the long run. First off, I simulated. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what's going on here, man. Okay. So you don't want it obviously going this far forward, right? So we're going to stop it from going forward like that. So let's see. Let me just check this. Okay, so when we did that, I don't think it connected it right. I think it connected the... It's not connected to the foot. Let me see. Foot to thigh. Okay, it is connected. That's odd. Okay, so let me simulate. Let's try this. Select the calf left, right click, constraint, foot left. And now we'll select this again and simulate it, and now it works. So if it does that to you, then basically what happened is when we mirrored it, it probably didn't set the constraints up properly. So they were set to the wrong one. So we're going to lock all these again and unlock this one. And we're just going to leave that one like that because that's fine. Let's test this one and see if this one's doing the same thing before we fix that other one. So we'll simulate it. Okay, that one's not doing it. That one's working fine. So you just learned something else too. That's how you fix that if it's not connected properly, just delete the constraint. Select this, right click it, constrain it to the foot. This might do it too, so we'll see. Let's go ahead and give that a try here. No, that one works fine. So back to this one. So you see this arrow right here? This arrow is telling you where the center is. This is how much it rotates in one direction. This is how much it rotates in another direction. So if it's rotating, you don't want it to rotate in one direction too much, then what you do is you have to hold down Alt and drag this wheel. You see? And now it's saying don't rotate this way, only let it rotate 45 degrees this way. And now this wheel can be kind of confusing because you might think, okay, it's rotating forward, so it should rotate back, but that may not be so. Let's see. That is the case. And now if you want to make sure it doesn't bend too far forward, you just grab the foot and lift it up so it can, see? And now that's where it's stopping at. That's why you get that kind of pulling motion right there. How it's pulling back. That's what's going on. So that one's set. I think 45 degrees is probably good. Yeah, that should be good. So we're going to go with 45. On this one, you're going to have to rotate it back, I think. Like that. And then simulate. Yeah. So see. It's kind of opposite over here on this side. It might not be the case. Maybe I'm doing something wrong there. I don't think I am, but correct me if I am wrong. I would hope you would. Let's see. So this one, center is fine. You're probably going to want it to go farther back than 45 and farther forward than 45. You know, so maybe we'll try 80. And that's 80. That's probably fine. You could also make it so that it doesn't go far back. So you could say like 60. And you could come up here and rotate it this way, like that. So it's only rotating a little bit backwards, but the rest of the rotation is going forwards. And we'll simulate that. And there, see? And then that's as far back as it goes. But that's all on you, how you want to do it. I might just leave it kind of like that. That's still about good. And that's still pretty good, so I'm going to leave it like that. Now I'm going to lock this and I'm going to unlock this one. And obviously I don't want it to rotate that much this way. So I'm going to, I think this should be how it goes inwards. Let's see. Yeah. So it's probably too much. We could try dropping it down to 35, maybe 25. Yeah. 25. That's probably good. And you could probably add a little bit of a twist to it if you wanted to. I'm not going to, but I'm just going to leave it like that. And then we'll simulate it. That seems about right. And then you would just do the same thing. You could copy these values over. 25 and 60. And then disable 1. And let's see. I think I did this one just back a little bit. Yeah, so I moved it back just a hair. And then this one, I adjusted that one, but I didn't fix that. So if you see something like this, know that if this cone doesn't reach this line, then you're gonna have a pull in that direction. So it's gonna naturally pull your leg. You see how it's pulling it right there? There's no gravity, so it shouldn't pull it. So what you do is just move it back a little bit more, and then it should be good. Now it shouldn't pull it. Yeah, see? There we go. That's good. So come back over here to this one, and let's see. I think oops. I think I had it something like that. Let's see. Yeah, probably about 5-10 degrees. It was probably, it looked like it was more like 5 degrees. So we'll test that out. Alright, now over here, onto this one. I already fixed that one earlier. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do our arms first. And I think he had this one at 90, which is about right. That's your 90 degree. If you felt like it shouldn't go 90 degrees back, then you could make it, you could do the same thing that we did on the legs, and you could say maybe 80, and then just move it like that. And then it should stop a little bit ways over there, but still go forward, not the whole 90. That's probably a little bit more accurate. And then we would just do the same thing over here. 80, oops, 80. And move it forward like 10 degrees. Simulate. I think I did that backwards. Yeah, I did. Needs to go 10 degrees back. Now that should work. Yeah, there we go. It's easy to get confused right there. So this is 45 degrees. Let's see. It's not too bad, but you don't want it going down inside the mesh. So let's say something like, let's try 25. Let's see. So rotate it. Simulate. That's probably not bad. You could go based off of the mannequin settings, the settings they have on the mannequin, or you can just kind of wing it like I'm doing here. So if you're doing your own model, you'll probably base it on the mannequin, and that's fine. Just now you know how the rotation works, and that's the most important thing that pretty much everybody leaves out, and I don't really understand why, but they do. So now you know how that works, so I hope that helps at least. Let's see. So that's 45 degrees. You don't want to go back, obviously. So we'll go like that maybe, and we'll see. There we go. You can make it go more than 45, maybe even 65 if you really wanted to, and then rotate it back so that it's even with that line. And 65 is probably about good. So we'll do 65 on this one, and we'll rotate this one like that. And that's good. And then your hands, 45 degrees. I'm just going to leave it like that. That should be good. 45 degrees. If you want to see, it's like that. You can adjust that if you want. Might be preferable. So on this one, this is the back to forward motion. We'll test it out. Let's see. It's probably okay. Might be a little bit too much. You might reduce that a bit. I think the head rotates, but I don't think the neck really rotates that much right here. So you might do 15 right here. And then on the head, for that, you might leave it at 45. Let's see how that looks. You could do less than 45 on the head if you needed to, maybe 35. That don't look too bad. You could go lower if you need to. So then there's this, the twisting motion. Now the head and the neck both twist about the same amount, and I don't think it's much. I think it's an accumulation. So you might do maybe 15, 20 degrees right here, and then maybe another 15 or 20 degrees right here, and go ahead and lock those until we're done testing this. Select the bottom one so you can see how the whole thing rotates. So that looks like maybe it's not enough. So we'll try 25 and 25. We might still have to go higher. It depends on how much you want it to rotate. I think a person can easily look over their shoulders. So we'll try to go for that. Let's go up to 35. That's probably good enough. You can tweak it. You can go with 45, which is the default if you want, but I'm not too sure that's very accurate. Just don't forget when you're done setting all these to set these from locked back to limited, and then you can test it. So see, when you start getting things playing together, he can actually kind of turn his head a little bit more than that. And maybe you don't want his head going that far back, so you would want to rotate that forward. So if we turn off no gravity and simulate it, you'll see it kind of goes inside his chest. So maybe it's rotating a little bit too far forward. So what we could do is lock these and make this one a little bit smaller, maybe 35 and 35, and then simulate it. That's a little bit better. You can make, to keep the head from going down into his chest, you could make it go back a little bit, and then it goes like that. But then he can still move his neck way back there. So it's probably best to just decrease it down to 25, and then maybe rotate it back like that, and then try simulating it. And yeah, that's probably okay. You can keep playing with it if you want, or like I said, base it off of theirs. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let's see. Did I do all of them? Oh no, I didn't do the spine. So let's go ahead and do the spine. Here, we'll turn gravity back off. So I think they probably were using like 10 or 15 on their twists. I think 15 is probably too much, but maybe not. So select the very bottom one, simulate, and then you can see how it turns. It all depends on you if you want them turning that much. If you think that's okay, then you can go with 15. I would probably go ahead and lock those back. And unlock these. Oops. And simulate that. You'll see this is too much. Way too much. So if I move them over, you'll see. Maybe, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not too much. Yeah. We could leave it at 45, but I would suggest if you do leave it at 45 to move it forward and turn it down. Maybe like that. Leave it with a little bit of an angle right there. Let's see, 25. Let's go back like that. Yeah, I think I left like 10 degrees of freedom there. 25 and 10, 15, something like that. So now we'll come back over here and simulate it. Still seems like it's going too far back. We might just leave a little hair there on these. A little 5 degrees. And so, see, now he doesn't really go any. Oh, it's because I have the top one selected. There we go. And so, yeah, that's probably more accurate right there. Now, if you see a little pulling here and there, that's normal when you're inside of here. So, just don't think it's something wrong with it. But as you can see, this wrist right here is not properly attached. See? So we're going to fix that. Same thing that we did before. You're just going to delete that constraint and set a new one. Hand left. And then we're just going to set a 45 degree right there. Wait, was that it? Yeah, let's see. Yeah. This seems to have fixed it. Let's try. Yeah, that fixed it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let's see if we can simulate the whole thing. And then I'll show you a neat little trick here. So see, it's pretty, yeah, it's not bad. Okay, so if you come over here, just go back to hide bones, select one of these and press Control A. You can, here's something you can do. You can set these up in a profile if you want. So you can say new profile. If you don't have profiles, go to your Windows, go to profiles. It'll open this up. You can say ragdoll, for example. And then you can assign this to these selected ones. And you can come over here and you can say like 200, 200, 200. Over here for the angular velocity strength, position strength, and velocity strength. And then you can just simulate, and you'll notice it's a bit stiffer. So if you do this, it's a bit stiffer. So if you set up your own profile for this, I don't know what keeps doing that. If you set up your own profile for this, you can make it stiffer. And that does not look bad. You don't have any knees buckling backwards unnaturally. And I hope that helped you guys. If you want, I'll continue this with a ragdoll system. So let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to put some time together to do that.